So, review time. I'm just gonna zoom you in a bit, hold on. Recording on my new tripod, still getting used to that. I hope you can hear me well. So I did promise a Doctor Who Christmas special review. So that's what we're doing. Doctor Who Christmas special. The Church on Ruby Road. I want to start off by just saying it was a brilliant special. It's wonderful to watch a Christmas special again. A Doctor Who Christmas special. It was beautiful to watch. Had many sort of almost callbacks to like some of the original some of the New Who Christmas specials. We had like our little story sort of thing that will make sense later on. We had Ruby Sunday, so we were introduced to a new character who happens to be 19 and things. We got to meet Ncuti's doctor in a full-fledged episode, which was amazing, and the costuming that Ncuti got to wear is amazing, and just the fact that he had a kilt in that one scene was I have to stop saying amazing. But that's like the only word I can think of to go for. I was really excited to see Ncuti in the kilt. It was really nice. And then I found out that Ncuti grew up in Scotland, so it kind of was like a callback to his heritage, which was great. And then we had the goblins were really cool. Doctor Who's never done goblins before. That was fun. The goblin song was also quite good. I liked the idea of there being this coincidence thing, and then that the doctor always happened to be nearby when there was a coincidence. That was really cool. The fact that we got the Doctor and Ruby to sing along to the Goblin song was amazing. So it's just, I really liked this Christmas special. It was really nice. It was a good look on like a butterfly effect as well, because when the goblins went back to steal Ruby, then we saw that things are very different with Ruby not in the timeline. Like her mother doesn't foster out of the goodness of her heart anymore. She fosters for money and things. So it was a really good way to see into what the sort of butterfly effect is, being that things may be cool and nice, but sometimes they're not that good. It was just nice. And then you could see like Ruby had those moments where she was confused about what in the world was happening, but then she also had these moments where she didn't seem as afraid or as confused, which was really nice. Because obviously it's like they're in London and most things happen in London in Doctor Who, and so you would be expecting these characters to be wary of these things. Having the ending with like Ruby kind of wants to follow the Doctor but she's not too sure, and then the old lady who lives next door was like, go on, he's waiting for you, so she went, and that was like, that kind of almost made me think of how Rose ended up going to the TARDIS with the Doctor. She was kind of wary about going because she's got to look after Mickey, and then the Doctor was like, did I also mention that this could travel through time? And then she went off into the TARDIS. So it very much reminded me of that, which was nice. I liked having the callbacks to older episodes of Doctor Who that I grew up watching, being able to see how far the show has come, and the small nods to things, and just the sheer amount of plaid that Ruby Sunday wears. I love plaid, so that made me really happy to see. I am very excited to see how Ncuti's season goes, how his run as the Doctor will go. I'm very interested to see where he takes this character. I really like how he's able to bring some humor into this doctor, and how this doctor is a little more laid back because he's the one that's supposed to be going off and having fun and leaving 14 to take a break and things. So it's nice that the doctor's not as concerned about things. I did like that the doctor kept the plot point of being adopted, like the timeless child thing. And while I hated the timeless child story, I do like that we're not completely retconning it. I like that we're making that part of the doctor's identity. That's really nice and really fun. So I look forward to seeing how this goes. I look forward to seeing more of this new Doctor, 15. So the new season comes out in May. So when that comes out, I might do a review at the end of the season, going over the episodes. I believe Russell T Davies said there were going to be 8 episodes in the new series 15, I think it is. That comes out in May, so there will be a review for that. I like being excited about Doctor Who again. It's almost freeing to be excited about this. So that's good. That's really, really good. I'm really happy about that. And now I'm going to switch over, because on the same day that I watched the Christmas special, The Treasure on Ruby Road, we went and watched the Wonka movie. And I thought I'd make these into the same video so that I don't have to edit too much. So here is the Wonka review. Have you ever read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and wondered, how did Willy Wonka become Willy Wonka? This year, Warner Brothers made a movie that showed us how he became Willy Wonka, starring Timothée Chalamet, and I got to watch it and I really, really enjoyed it. It was good. There are some slight nitpicky things, but that's honestly not so much to do with the plot, just character stuff. But in general, Wonka was good. I enjoyed it. So comparison-wise, I will say the movie Wonka took inspiration both from the Gene Wilder musical that came out in the 50s, I think, and from the Tim Burton adaptation that came out in 2005. Costume-wise, Wonka wore a coat that was closer in colour to Johnny Depp's coat that he wore in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but in terms of music and architecture, I would go closer to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory with Gene Wilder. Choreography-wise, also Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, because that one was a musical. There were Easter eggs in there that I kind of picked up, and if you picked up any others, please let me know. There was the Easter egg of... There's going to be a really niche thing that people might not even recognize. In the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, when he performs Pure Imagination, he's going down a staircase, and he goes down 2 steps. Well, goes down 1 step, goes back up 2, and then goes back down the rest of the steps. And they did that in Wonka, the movie, and it made me really happy. I can't remember the exact scene that it was in, but they did that, and it was great. We also had, in the instrumental score, we did have some allusions to the song Pure Imagination, so it was very much following the score from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. and I'm almost certain one of the clocks chimed the opening notes to "I've Got a Golden Ticket." But I can't be sure, and I'll need to double check that. The Oompa Loompas were brilliant. The design of the Oompa Loompas is definitely closer to Gene Wilder's Oompa Loompas with the orange skin and the green hair, which isn't a bad thing, but, you know, I like that they put that in there. I can see the backstory is definitely taking more from Gene Wilder's characterization, with the whimsy and the mystery, and the cane that stands on its own. And that would make sense because in the 2005 Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Tim Burton did attempt to give Willy Wonka a backstory. So if you wanted to make a full-blown musical, you'd kind of have to go more with the version of Willy Wonka that wasn't given too much of a backstory, because then you can like tweak it and make your own little story from there. So that's a thing. In terms of how Willy Wonka speaks, I was kind of, I don't know, the accent that Timothée Chalamet gave to Willy Wonka unsettled me in a way, because it didn't call back to the accents of either Johnny Depp or Gene Wilder, who had a little bit more of a cultivated, almost English twinge to their accents. Then again, like, I've never watched a movie with Timothée Chalamet. Maybe that's just how he speaks. I don't know. I got used to the accent in the movie anyway, so it was fine. I liked the little note that maybe Willy can't read. And it does make for an interesting thing if you look at the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, when Willy is calling Charlie out on breaking some of the rules, and he's got like everything in his office is like half, so his rules go like halfway, so he reads off a thing and goes etc, etc, and it kind of brings you this idea of like either he doesn't remember the other half of this contract, or he can't read half of it, and that's why. So it's an interesting interpretation to the stylistic choice of having half things in Willy Wonka's office. I liked the way that the chocolates got presented, this mysterious, mystical way that the chocolate gets shown to you. It was really nice. Having the three competitor chocolatiers be working together in a chocolate cartel was amazing to me. It was a funny little thing, and entirely plausible, because like, yeah, why wouldn't these three be working together to bring down every other chocolate company? It makes sense that you've got the secret thing of like, I think it was Slugworth in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory had hired this guy to then go and, well, Slugworth. We found out later on that Willy Wonka had hired this guy to pretend to be Slugworth so that he could see people who weren't trustworthy enough. But it would be an interesting idea to have it be like, yeah, these three companies are going after Wonka chocolates, not because they're jealous, but because these three companies are working together to have the monopoly on chocolate. And so they feel threatened by Wonka because he can make these beautiful, fantastical chocolates. I liked the choreography of the movie. It had some slight vibes of like La La Land choreography, with the specifically in La La Land, the planetarium scene where she like floats up into the sky and things, and they had that same almost thing in Wonka where you had Willy and Noodle dancing on the roof of the zoo and then they fly off into the sky. It was almost the same, and I really liked how that worked. I loved the idea of the corrupt cop corrupt police officer who was only corrupt because he really, really likes chocolate. And so he gets paid in chocolate to do these things that these chocolatiers like. That song Sweet Tooth, about him and like making him deals and things, is a really catchy song. I really liked it. As well as the song Wonka sang about chocolate in the Gallery Gourmet. Those were pretty good. I like that we now have some newer songs that are not quite as popular, but still fit the theme of Willy Wonka. The rendition of Pure Imagination at the end was also really nice, and I liked that the choreography for the Oompa Loompa song was pretty much identical to the choreography of the Oompa Loompa song in the original movie. That really did help to tie them together. The little Easter egg of the secret ingredient to the mother's chocolate being written on a golden ticket, basically, was also quite interesting, because then you get this idea of like, so then he got inspired by that to make the golden ticket thing so that he could then find someone to take over the company. It would make sense because it's kind of like sharing, this is the secret to how I make my chocolate. Then you got that tie of like the mother had told him the secret was sharing the chocolate with other people and things, and she'd written it on the golden paper, and so that kind of gives you this idea of like, oh, maybe that's why. There's also I'm trying to remember all the Easter eggs that I saw. Being sent to work in the laundry facility of Scrubbit and Bleacher. And you had like Mrs. Bucket in the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. She was a laundress. She did cleaning. I liked that. I don't know if that was an intentional thing, but it definitely works to be an Easter egg and connector. That you have like, maybe Willy Wonka knew about Charlie Bucket's family and how Mrs. Bucket worked in the laundromat, and it reminded him of his days when he had to scrub, and so he's got that connection with Charlie. I don't know if maybe I'm looking too deeply into that. Who knows? I don't really mind. I just know I liked it. The characters of Scrubbit and Bleacher were interesting. You could definitely see like the greedy sort of thing. Yes, they're very greedy for money, so they've got this clause small print thing that also was kind of like a callback to when Willy Wonka got the kids to sign a contract and has the small print that's like this big. So I liked having that little callback where like, yeah, he doesn't read the small print, and so then he gets trapped in this deal that he signed without knowing it, which was definitely similar to Willy calling out Charlie and Grandpa Joe for breaking some rules, and they didn't even know those rules were there because they didn't read the fine print. It was just, I liked the movie. I enjoyed it. I liked having this almost backstory characterization to Willy Wonka so that you could see and learn more about the character. It was pleasant. And having Noodle be the daughter or niece of one of these big chocolatiers was also quite interesting. And I liked how she had this dream that her house was a book. Her house was made of books and things, and then you realize her mother works at a library and lives there too, and so it's like, yeah, that makes sense. I just liked the character of Noodle. She was really nice. Just the way that Willy Wonka was able to invent these different chocolates and things, just beautiful. Yeah. So overall review, concluding, TLDR, Bookie's review of Wonka. It was good. I enjoyed it. It had elements of the original movie that I enjoy, and it had elements that made it its own unique thing. It gave us a story about Willy Wonka, which was also quite good, while also keeping to the canon that we already have about Willy Wonka, which isn't much. But it's enough to have used as inspiration to make this movie. The songs were great. The score was also brilliant. And I loved the new lyrics to Pure Imagination. And I think that would be the end of the review. In the new year, I am planning to make more reviews. I'm going to try to see every musical that comes out in cinemas with my sister. And then we will do like musical reviews on those. You will get another video that'll probably be out on the 1st of January itself, which is a rundown of all the books that I read this year, which regrettably are not as many as I had hoped, but I was quite busy with uni and the whole thing with finding out about the celiac diagnosis, and so I kind of didn't read as much as I usually do, which is fine. It's fine. But yeah, those are the things you can expect. The Wishing Dress project will probably be out in the first week of January, because I'm almost finished with the bodice. I need to pick up the camera and actually record those. Other than that, we'll just be on our usual programming with the videos here. And I hope you had a great year, and I'll see you next year. Bye.